Hey, how are you? My name's Tammy Hardin. I'm your Life and Money Breakthrough Coach. And I just want to say welcome. If you're here, it's because you want to learn a little bit more about me and what I do. But more importantly, what you want to know is, can I help you? What I know is if you're here, it's because you're in some level of pain. Nobody ever shows up in my in my realm because life's skippy and going well. It's just the way it is. You've already read a little bit about me, so you know what I do is I help people change their game. That's why I call myself the game-changing coach. Whether that's been in business or whether that's been in someone's personal life, that's what I bring to the table. You will walk away, and if you do what I suggest, you will be changing your game of how you do life. Because what I know is you're stuck. Nobody shows up with me because they're, skipping along. They're stuck. They're stuck in their emotions. They're stuck in their life. They're stuck in their relationships. They're stuck in their job. They're stuck in their money. They're stuck in their weight. Life ain't going the way that this isn't what you thought. This isn't how it, there's more. And so, welcome. Welcome. The thing that you're going to know about me, one is I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I'm a life coach. Please know that. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time out dwelling in the past, although that's what I do is emotional integration. But I'm about action. I'm about helping you move forward, about giving you concrete things that will move you from this stuck place to being unstoppable. So let me tell you my story real quick. Quick. Part of my story is I had a motorcycle wreck when I was 13 and I hurt my hip. And out of that is where my drug addiction started, which was quickly followed by my favorite place to hide out, which became alcohol, which also cigarettes were right in there. And so at 25, I was able to overcome alcohol and drugs. And a couple years later, I laid down to cigarettes. So I know what it is to let go of very serious and painful coping behaviors. I'll also tell you that what all that did was it was keeping down all the anxiety, the anger, all that, insecurity, fear. All that stuff was just kind of keeping those things at bay because they were so loud in my body that I needed stuff to numb me out. Typically what people who are struggling emotionally do is they either numb out because they can't take it, or they try to control. There's this illusion that if I can just get all my duckies lined up, if my job, if people, my money, if I can get all these things under control, then I'll be okay. It's a lie. We'll just call that what that is. It's a lie. So, please know that what I share with you is not something that I read in a book somewhere and, got a piece of paper that said, ooh, I know all that and then some. No, my experience is out of being in the trenches, figuring out what did work and what didn't work, and kind of getting fed up with what is kind of mainstream solutions. Because the mainstream solutions, and all they did was cover it up, numb it out more. They just kept the lid on my pressure cooker, for lack of a better word. And so, fortunately and unfortunately, God brought me to a new place to where I could dig in and find real solutions, real answers to these real questions that had been going on in my life for a long time. Everybody that I work with doesn't come from some traumatic childhood background, and mine wasn't as traumatic as a lot of other people's that I've worked with, but I know what it is to have what I call emotional breakage. As I was doing my own work one day, God gives me really crazy visuals, so we'll just get that because you're going to be hearing them along the way, so we'll just get that cleared up right here. And so what he gave me one day was a visual that we have an emotional body no different than we have a physical, like a muscular body. And the way that he brought it to me is I've done a lot of physical rehab over the years because, you know, I had that motorcycle wreck when I was 13, and you can tell from looking at me, it's been a while since I was 13. So I still live with some level of pain every day, and I do not take medication. And so what I've had to do is I've had to find other means to find comfort. And so a lot of that has been in physical rehab and massage and things like that. Well, if you've ever done any kind of physical work, you know, they'll press into that muscle, and that muscle hurts. It's locked up. You know, it's over attached, or, you know, it's twisted out in its attachments. And our emotional attachments look like food and money and people and you know, all kinds of stuff. But so when you press into it, I don't know about you, but I yell because it hurts. And so what that yelling looks like is there's a level 5 situation that occurs. You know, somebody pulls out in front of you, or somebody says something to you at the store, or some coworker does something, and what should require a level 5 response, you respond with a level 10 or 15 or 20, 50. You're over the top. And when you come back, there's this part of you who has to justify your reaction. And so, but once you get past that, you're drained. You're just emotionally exhausted and spent. And you're doing this over and over and over. And there's just this cycle. You know, when you start doing that kind of emotional stuff for 20, 30, 40, 50, there ain't much left in you. And so then you go from this into just, that's probably why you're here, because there's just nothing left. So what I came to understand out of that visual that God gave me is that if you would press into your emotions, that the muscle will release, and so will the emotion. But most of us are so afraid to touch it because it hurts that we never press through. It's like we just talk about this outer layer of it. We all know the story. We've told the story 1,000 times. But we talk about the outer layer instead of pressing through it to where the healing is. And so that's what I teach, that's what I do, that's what I hold the space for you for, is to have the ability to press through to get full range of motion back. You know, that's where we're missing. If you've ever rehabbed, it's the desire is to get full range of motion of that muscle or that bone back because it's been injured in some way. If you've been emotionally hurt, what happens typically is you don't have full range of motion into joy, into gratitude, into love, because you're stuck down here in anxiety, insecurity, doubt, sadness, which all can push us on further down into depressions and all kinds of heaping mess. And so what I offer to you is to be able to press in so that you can get your full range of motion, to start to live in a place of joy, of happiness, gladness, you know, all those things that were promised to us. That's where we want to live. So the thing that I would offer you is, if you'll fill out the form below, then we can set up some time to do what I call a discovery call, so that you can learn, so that I can learn a little bit more about you, and we can figure out whether I can help you or not. You can learn a little bit more about me, so that you can decide, yes, what she does works for me. That resonates with my spirit. You know, I don't resonate with everybody. I don't intend to. So please know that. And we can talk about cost and all those things. But I just want you to know there's hope. I want you to know that life doesn't always have to be like this. I want you to know that this is not a life of doom and gloom. that's not what we were promised, and that's not what I'm gonna walk in. I want you to know that you can walk happy, joyous, and free. That's what we were promised, and I'm glad you're here. I just want you to know you can go from stuck to unstoppable. If you'd like to, spend time with me, discovery sessions are about 45 minutes long. If you'd like to schedule one of those, please fill out the form below, or you're welcome to just call me direct and schedule time. And I look forward to getting to know more about you, and I hope this short time has given you a little bit more insight into who I am and what I can bring to your game. I look forward to meeting you. Blessings.